What's up, guys? It is Sunday, October 20th. I am a little under the weather, so I'm going to keep this short. This is the third time I've tried to record this video. So I might leave something out thinking I already said it. Here's the deal. Let's keep it short. Here's the news next week. Monday, nothing. Tuesday, nothing. Wednesday, a little bit of Fed news, beige book at 2 o'clock. Thursday, jobs, a little bit of PMI. Friday, maybe nothing. I don't know. Here's what I want to look at: existing home sales and new home sales. This is interesting to me because everybody in the world is talking about we're going into a recession. On top of that, we're in the last week of October, which is typically bearish going into a election. Nobody wants to spend money. So there's two things I want to talk about this video real quick. Maybe 3 things, maybe 16 things. We'll see how far I get. But this was October, the last few weeks of October before the election. As you see, the third week is pretty sideways. Nothing really happened. The fourth week, they did have a sell-off and then a reversal. And typically, if you go back through, I'm not going to right now, but you can. But the end of October usually marks the low. So we're going to be looking for a low at the end of this month here. This low, this October, put in a higher low and started our 2023, right? September, October, that was the low, and then bull rally. And we really haven't pulled back far. The reason I have this bar here is because we never really did come back and retest this breakout area either. We left a little bit open. So here's kind of a if-then. Because this is the end of the quarter, are the bulls, now they're still creating this third candle, but are the bulls going to push higher, or are they going to close this gap and prevent a fair value gap, bullish fair value gap, higher to be formed? So we could be looking for that in our let me move this up. Actually, let me start fresh here. Let's say this is our new line in the sand on SPX. That if they close below this, then look for a retest of this in the coming quarter. Of course, we have a couple weeks left, so we'll see how that goes. But I do want to keep that in mind, that if we take out the low of the beginning of the quarter that they've obviously respected and pushed higher off of, then that's pretty bearish. And then getting from there, they could quickly move down to this 5,500 area from 5,800 where they are. So let's keep that in mind. I'm going to put alerts on both of these, and that way if I start getting too bullish, it will remind me that they will go lower. So let's do that. Let's go into the 1 hour chart so I don't miss it. And look how that's kind of been respected as they've gapped over this prior resistance, and then now this is the bottom. So I would be interested to see that getting swept, either breaking down and then reversing, or breaking down and then just continuing breaking down. Like I said before, this area here, they bounced early so that they could break it, right? That's true. But what they haven't done is they haven't come back to retest this prior pivot, right? Usually what they'll do is a good, like we talked about in the last video, a good breakout is going to break out, come back, dip down to get all the short sellers, and then reverse. And instead they bounced early. And what does bouncing early mean? It means they're likely going to break it, right? So even though I'm bullish overall right now, I could see that a reversal is imminent and on the way. Actually, that would be the prior breakout. So they did not, in fact, come in to trap shorts. I'm getting too long. All right. So what do I want to see? I want to see us take out this top. I talked about being a fake top. I want to see us take out this top. We might already be doing that in futures. Let's see where we're at here. Not quite. So we did gap up, which means they're likely going to push higher from there. But we'll see what Monday does for us here on the market. Pushing higher on Monday, I assume, and Tuesday. And I don't remember where I was going with that. Anyway, let's keep moving. So home sales, existing home sales, new home sales. Let's look at some of these stocks. Actually, let me back up one more second. I don't remember if I talked about this in this video. You can Google this, stock market sectors in a recession, and you want to see what is common, what the common theme is, right? Utilities. Let's see how have they been. XLE. Let's go to the weekly chart here. So utilities broke out of this long channel and has just been pushing higher. Oh, that's energy. That's why. I'm sorry. XLU. Utilities. Utilities. Here we go. So they're broken out and they're at all-time highs. So what does that mean? That means we might be starting an early recession, right? Let's see what financials did, because that's usually the next sector. XLF. Ooh, they're at all-time highs. They're ripping higher. Right? They're outperforming QQQ. Right? Remember, SPY is at all-time highs, but Q is not. Q is putting in a lower high. That doesn't mean we're bearish yet, but it means it's outperforming. So utilities, financials, real estate. How about VNQ? Let's see what real estate's been doing. Yep, in a bullish trend. Now they haven't quite put in a higher high, and so we're going to look at this week. If for some reason we were in a bearish downturn market, real estate, utilities, financials, real estate, those are safe things, right? Look at gold. What's GLD gold doing? Gold is ripping at all-time highs. Look at that breakout, right? Safe stocks. That's why tech stocks aren't doing as well. So I'm going to be looking at VNQ this week, and I also want to look at some of these that might already be overextended. These are home builder stocks, because remember, we're gonna buy the rumor, sell the news, right? We're gonna buy the rumor that these are gonna pump in the next few days. And I got one in particular that's gonna that I really like. Let's look at some of these. Hold PHM. Let's just do that. So first, VNQ. Look for it to break this. Let's look at the weekly here and see what's going on. Sorry for my things lagging. VNQ bounced before this pivot. So what are they likely going to do? Break it, right? Watch VNQ long. The target is going to be like this 102 area. Probably want to sell before we get the breakout, but we might ride some. Watch VNQ. That's a very strong into the week. Look for a gap up, maybe a retest. Let's see if there's any reason. There is one reason to come back down, and it's this fair value gap right here. Look for a retest into this 96.40 area for a long. Let's look at LEN. I've had good luck on LEN. LEN looks ready to break out. Nice gap up. I could run that to 200 easily. Again, look for a long. So now see, they've already retested and rejected this breakup candle. See how they pushed up and rejected, and now they're going up to new highs. That might just take off. Might watch that one Monday morning. LEN for like some 195 calls for a push close to 200 and sell it before it gets there. In VR. Same thing. Oh, that's not. Is it? Yeah, you don't want to mess with that one. Anyway, here's my one. Zillow. This guy has been beaten down forever, and it looks ready to rip. Here's the weekly. Here was prior resistance. They came back down. It was prior resistance again. They've now broken above that. And what does that open? That opens at least a test of this area to 85. If not, 103. Look at Zillow next week. We're going to look for an opportunity to get in that. If we get any kind of pullback on Monday and Tuesday on Zillow, because it is a tech stock, but we're going to talk about that too. What comes after housing in our recession? Financials, real estate, technology. What if you combine real estate and technology? What do you think that's going to do? Zillow has a pretty high short interest right now. Look at this technicals here. Let's break out and retest. I'm going to have to take my magnet tool off. Broke out, retested it. What are they going to do? They're going to take off, right? And the opportunity to move to 85 or higher is pretty strong there. They really, this would have been a perfect place to get in for earnings, but Zillow, watch Zillow next week, long. So, and through the week, I'm going to be looking at other home builders, housing stocks, VNQ, I said, those kinds of things, and then also transition into this QQQ divergence that everyone's talking about. Everyone's saying the Qs are weak, and SPY is stronger, and that's a sign of a recession incoming, that QQQ is going down, SPY is going up, and that's divergence. What they don't understand is that often divergences can resolve, which means we would have an extremely bullish push off of this gap up. Huge move. So we're going to start looking into tech stocks and see if they're going to start popping early into next week, in the next coming weeks. And yeah, I'm curious to see how that's going to resolve. Is it going to resolve and pull SPY down while this comes down to retest these areas and potentially lower? Or is it going to resolve by a ridiculous short squeeze? And as we're talking about short squeezes, we want to look at our most famous short squeezes and say, you know, GME's looking pretty good for another move higher. It's definitely finding support in this area. They bought this area multiple times to push it at least above this line. So we want to look for a GME long going into this week. We looked at NN last week. This one's moving nicely, and I think just the nice thing about this one is there's like no top. Like there is, its top is right here at 1550 or something like that. But there's nothing. There's nothing to trade against. So shorts getting above this double top, which typically double tops are broken and they squeeze. So watch NN still. CTRI, I still like that one. This one's broken out now, and a little bit of a pullback, but it is respecting this breakup candle, and we could see a nice move up from that. And again, high short, no top. While we're talking about that, let's look at IWM and just say in general, IWM, as long as we can break this top here, it can make a pretty quick move higher. So yeah, I'm kind of in the middle, but I did seem to find a couple stocks that are worth looking at as far as the news goes. And that's about all I've got. We had a couple questions. Coin, I think somebody wanted to look at coin. I think it's way too late for this guy. I do like 267 is possible, but that might happen on Monday and just be too late. Can't remember what the other one is. Let me look at it. But Bitcoin in general looks like it's moving finally. You had this huge we've broken out this weekend. Had this huge 1 year long consolidation, and now they're finally breaking out. So the expectation would be an equal move from this low to this high, and then you'd find the low. Let me get this magnet off. You'd find the low of this channel and say, that's not really great, but still 82,000, 82,500, that would be your short-term target for this breakout. So you look for, you could look at that, Riot maybe, some of these smaller stocks to rip, Riot, Mara. Oh, Riot is kind of respecting our line here though. Not sure. We can move to 11 pretty quickly on Riot. But anyway, the one thing I did want to say is if we are truly going into a recession, because utilities, financials, real estate, those things are outperforming the rest of the market, then you want to see small cap stocks that are highly shorted start popping, because everybody's going to get into large cap stocks short, and they're going to exit their positions. So you can run over here to this FinViz thing. Here's a free tool for you. Go to the screener, go to all, and this is kind of what I use for just meme stocks. There's no fundamentals about this. You want to go to optionable and shortable. You want to change the short float to 30%, or I guess above 20%. You get all these ads unless you sign up for their thing. But I'm just showing you what you can do for free. You want to have a pretty low volume, so you could find volume. Where's volume? Where is not current volume? Market cap. You can do market cap, do small market cap, and then you just start looking at charts and then use your technical ideas and figure out if you like any of these, right? So you start saying, okay, this ACDC, that's an interesting one. Oil and gas, I'm not sure if that'll do well, but you know, you've got kind of a support area down there. This guy Archer, he looks like he's oversold and starting to turn around, so watch that one. I don't like doing biotech stocks. Those are junk. You get burned way too easy. BYND, that's kind of already had a blow off there to 9, so I'm not sure I would look at that one. But BTDR, that looks like it's going to go higher, whatever that is. So you start looking at that stuff and say, okay, if I was going to get out of my, here's a charge point, and we'll look at Tesla real quick. Charge point, it's $1 stock. It's probably not worth messing with. Dave, here's this one. Look at this. Dave, I've been liking this one for a while for a nice breakout. It's got upward mobility, whatever. And you look over here and say short float, 27%, only 7 million shares. 2 million of those shares are short. So you got 5 million buyers, 2 million short sellers. So that could be a pretty good move if you start getting a bounce there, and they're going to chase this breakdown candle and try to get above 50, right? So watch Dave. Anyway, so keep an eye on that. Obviously GameStop, all those high short things. And then don't be surprised if technology starts bouncing before we don't actually get a recession and we just start over. And then Jake's going to tell you all about comm stocks here in the near future, but I think we could see a correction in technology, a bullish correction to resolve that divergence. And so keep an eye on that kind of stuff. AMD always just sucks, so I'm not going to worry about that one. But NVIDIA, you know, it could just keep going. It's only $138 stock nowadays. What was the other one I saw the other day that was like, Disney hasn't been doing much in a while. Let's see what that one's doing. See, it could definitely break this top and start moving pretty quickly. Might keep Disney on watch this week. It's an interesting one. It's putting in a higher high now. Higher high and a higher low. See it run up to 108, 109. See how it moves from my little block theory here. Moves from this area to this area. And then it moved from this area to this area. And then it moved from this area to this area. And then see how this area was just a gap. So what's the expectation? You've got an institutional buyer in this area that's going to take it up to 109. I like Disney. That's a good find. With that, I'm tired. Send me questions if you got them. Thanks.